Guys, my bad for bringing this video to you guys a little later because of my sickness and all of that. I kind of forgot about it, but I'm bringing this to you. This is the ARC B580 running Lego Batman, The Legacy of Dark Knight. You can see the specs right here. It's the Intel reference version of the GPU paired up with the i5-12400F and 32 GB of DDR4 memory running at 3200 MHz. Nothing is overclocked. Everything is base speeds. And the latest driver for the NVIDIA, for the ARC driver, 8826. So that's it. Let's see how this runs the game. Pretty sure it's going to be pretty smooth. So let's see. Alright guys, as usual, I'm going to start it off on 4K and using Intel XeSS native anti-aliasing, so it's native 4K, right? And starting off on epic settings. Yep, it's a little crazy, but you know how it is with me. So let's see, 30 FPS, not bad at all. Using only 9 GB of VRAM. So if you have a 12 GB card, it's going to run really well. And that is the moral of the story. Especially these Unreal Engine games, man. If you have like 8 GB cards, they're not going to work really well. But if it's anything more than 10 GB, you can expect a really good experience out of it. That's been the case for this game, at least, That's been the case for most games releasing these days, not just this. And right now we're getting 23 FPS, which is not great, but this is maxed out on 4K on a B580, so running way better than I expected. 22 FPS. Yes, it's not ideal, but 22 FPS. Okay, now let's use some upscaling and some frame gen along the way. So instead of using quality, let me go to performance. Let's see if that's going to change anything. So performance mode, you can actually get 55 FPS. Okay, that's quite much better. 40 to 50 FPS. Okay, and I heard that if you're playing like co-op with somebody else, it's going to get way more intensive. So you might want to turn on some frame gen. But if you're like playing solo like me, then this is actually like an okay experience, I might say, It's not terrible, not the best, but it's still pretty playable. 50 FPS without any stuttering or anything. This is actually playable, guys. 43. And again, this is on epic settings. If you want to go down below those settings, it's totally up to you. For me, I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to use some upscaling. Frame gen. I'm going to go XeSS 2x frame gen. So you got to restart the game. Okay, so even after restarting, I don't think XeSS FG is working here. Because I'm putting it on 3x, and even 4x. And it seems like it's still like 60 FPS. So it should not be the case. So this is like running just without the frame gen, actually. Okay. That's actually kind of terrible if you ask me. Go to the software. It says application choice. So it should be working, Whatever you set in your game should be applied immediately. You don't have to force it to the app. But it's not working here, unfortunately. I don't know. So let me just see if it's going to work on 3x frame gen, 2x frame gen. I don't think so. I had to restart again, but that is strange though. Why do we have the option there and it's not working as intended? That's kind of crazy. Okay, so that's bugged, I believe. Because why wouldn't it work otherwise? You're using like 85% of the, not 85, 53% of the CPU here. But again, why is a frame gen not working? That is kind of strange. I even restarted the game to make sure it's working, but it seems like it's not. What about FSR frame gen? Is that gonna work? And to restart again, it says. Okay, let me see if that's gonna work. Alright, so I'm back in again. I think it's working now on FSR frame gen, but not Intel's frame gen. So that's kind of awkward. I don't know why. Because right now we're getting 94 FPS. I haven't changed any settings or anything. It's just still on the same FSR frame gen and performance mode. And everything's still set to epic. So yeah, FSR frame gen actually works, but not Intel frame gen, which is kind of crazy. Even though they have native support in the game, which doesn't seem to work. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in that. At least when the games implemented the settings, it's supposed to work, but it's not. So 100% Intel XeSS support is not actually here in the game, unfortunately. Okay, I was not expecting that at all. But yeah, inside the city here, it's looking pretty good. 80 to 70 FPS is totally playable right now. And again, I don't know how much FPS you're gonna drop when you're playing co-op with somebody. But single player is totally playable, 90 FPS. And I don't think it's going to drop down below this. And now we're using 10 GB of VRAM though. So upscaling with FrameGen is actually intensive than actual like native 4K. But yeah, this is totally playable. Look at the frame time graph; it's completely smooth. So I say like play like this if you're on 4K monitor, which again, it's an overkill for this GPU. Nobody's gonna play this game on 4K with a B580, that's for sure. But if you are one of those crazy people, then it seems like it's gonna work really well. And you don't have to turn down the settings as well. And it's running pretty well. It's like super responsive as well. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be 4K running really well. Now let's see how it's gonna be on 1440p. All right, now we're on 1440p. Back to native anti-aliasing and no frame generation. Okay, let's see. Native 1440p epic settings, you can barely get 50 FPS. Okay, not bad. You know, this game is actually kind of intensive on epic settings. And now we're using 11 GB. What the heck is going on? On 4K it was using only 9 GB, but now on 1080 1440p is using 11 GB. It doesn't make any sense to me, but as you guys saw, it's 4K. Nobody cares about 4K on a B580 except me and maybe a handful of others. So on 1440p is like the actual perfect resolution for this GPU anyways. Some people argue it's 1080p. But for me, man, 1440p seems to be the perfect spot for this GPU. And it is running 40 something FPS without any upscaling and FrameGen. So not terrible, but you know, we definitely need the 60 plus FPS experience. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some upscaling. I'm gonna go to quality. There's an ultra quality plus an ultra quality and then quality. It's like balance mode, I'm pretty sure, but you know, Intel like to name their upscalers a little bit fancier to make it look better than the other ones, but it is actually like rendered from a lower resolution compared to their competitors like AMD and Nvidia. Their quality mode is the actual quality mode, and Intel's quality mode is like one step below them, so that it makes them look better. But in reality, it's rendered from slightly lower resolutions than what AMD and Nvidia offers. But now you can see we're getting 75 FPS, but it's still gonna drop down. For the most part, you can see 60 something FPS here, 62 on balance. I mean, actually quality mode. It is not ideal. You definitely need more than 60 FPS. If you like RAM through everything, you can even drop into the 40s. It is again not great, you know. So 60 is possible, but it's gonna drop down. So we definitely need some frame generation, unfortunately. Can't make it go to performance mode, but nah. Especially on 1440p, performance mode is like really low resolutions, something from 540p, I guess. So just keep it to quality mode and use some frame generation. That's what I would prefer. That's gonna take you all the way to 112 FPS. So now it's much playable, way more playable than you actually need it to be. And now the chances of dropping down into 60 FPS are really minimal. Even playing on co-op mode, you know, split screen, it's gonna be really smooth. And again, now it's like, yeah, really playable, guys. It doesn't show us what it is upscaled from. Just showing us a total FPS. But again, looking pretty solid. I don't see any artifacting or anything. It is running really well as well. So 103 FPS is going to be my recommended settings to play on. With the B580 on 1440p, just max it out on epic settings and use FSR FrameGen. For some reason, there's no Intel XeSS, so I don't know why they haven't fixed it. This game's been out for like, what, 2 or 3 weeks now? And I couldn't believe that's an issue. So 1440p, this is what I would play the game on. I'm not going to go below this at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, seems to be pretty good. So now let's move on to 1080p. It's going to be easy. While you're 1080p, back to native 1080p and epic settings, no frame gen. Should be easy, let's see. And still quite not enough for us to get to 60 FPS on native 1080p. This game is really intensive on 1080p, guys. I mean, epic settings, guys. So 50 FPS, still using 10 GB of VRAM. So this is what I said. You definitely need a 12 GB card at least to make this game run really well. Even on 1080p, this is the case for most new games, especially Unreal Engine 5 games. The texture quality on most of these games are like insane, so you need at least 10 GB of VRAM to run these things properly. 8 GB cards are gonna struggle. So I already made a video on the 5060 and it was struggling, stuttering quite a lot, which is why you need more than 8 GB of VRAM, you know what I'm saying? Especially in 2026. So 56 FPS, not terrible, but you know, it should be better. And the only thing to make it happen is gonna be some upscaling. So go back in again and use some quality mode. That will take you to 84 FPS. Now it's totally playable. And I suggest keeping on a quality mode and not going to ultra quality or any of that stuff. Because even with this, again, if you're playing co-op, it might drop into the 60s. So quality mode might be the best way to play it on 1080p on epic settings. And now you can see the quality. It looks a little blurry, even those texts on there. There's diner. It is shimmering a little bit on the edges and stuff. So yeah, that's the only downside. I really like upscaling on 1080p. See, even now it's like dropping down into the 60s and stuff. So even 1080p quality mode is not going to be enough. But again, there's an option to use some frame gen, which is what I'm going to use now, right now. FSR frame gen is going to get you to 142 FPS. So now it's completely playable. Now also we are like CPU bound, 71% of the 12400F right here. But just keep that in mind as well on 1080p. But again, if you're getting more than 130 FPS, you can actually bump up the resolution scaling up to probably ultra quality. Yeah, let's just keep it ultra quality instead of quality. And now it looks slightly better as well. The 111 FPS, much more better looking and also still getting a lot of FPS. So I'd say I play it like this. It's not completely playable, you know. I'm just gonna climb this. 170 something FPS on the rooftop. It's like much better now. See that? So on the rooftop, it's gonna be way better than actually on the streets because of all the street lights and stuff, pedestrians and all stuff going on. Yeah. Here you can get 130 something FPS, totally playable. So yeah, guys, I'd say play it like this on 1080p. Max it out. So I think that should be enough, man. I don't think I need to show you guys anything further. It runs really well on all the resolutions. If you just adjust some upscaling and frame gen, it's gonna run really well. So yeah, guys, that's a Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. A really well optimized game. Even on the ARC cards, except that the frame gen feature is kind of broken. I don't know why they didn't bother to fix it. But yeah, I think it's just bugged. So that'll be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. And for more benchmarks, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep making more videos on the B580, so stay tuned. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. Catch you guys in the next one. So take it easy and peace out.